Welcome to BPT Training, course number 4, Investors, the End Game. You're going to be hearing again time-tested, high-impact, bottom-line data, bite-sized form, and it's going to be less than 10 minutes. When we gain profound knowledge, our life is instantly improved forever, and that's the goal of this training that you're going to hear right now. Now, the fact is, 95% of people reach age 65 dead broke or dead. Only 1% of people are actually wealthy, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. 1 out of 100 people make it. Isn't that incredible? Now, most of these wealthy people made their money in real estate. The 4% who are financially independent could be earning as little as $50,000, which is really poverty wages. So, where you find real estate, you find wealth. And where you find wealth, you find real estate. So you're investigating the right department, real estate. Now I'm going to share with you some powerful information concerning the money time quadrant. And as we go through our life, we're always going to be in one of the 4 money time quadrants. Quadrant 1 is the most popular quadrant where the majority of people reside, and it's called the rat race. 70% of people have no time and no money. They're living check to check and typically having 2 incomes to support the family. This is a time quadrant of a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. Quadrant number 2 is where people have lots of time and no money. These people might be unemployed. There's at least 19% of the population in that department. Quadrant 3 is people who have no time but lots of money, and that's actually as much as 10% of the population. They're working to get ahead, and by the time they've made all of their money and they haven't paid attention to their wife, they're getting a divorce, and they're going to wind up going back to quadrant 2 or quadrant 1, and we will wind up in quadrant 4 for only 1% of people. These are the people who have lots of time and lots of money. These are the people that are enjoying their life. They're the people who are living their dreams. They have the time to do what they want, with who they want, where they want, when they want. They have freedom and time for their family. They have quality of life, and this is what we should all aspire for, to be one of the 1 in 100 people that hit quadrant 4. Now, how do you know if you're in quadrant 4 to begin with? Well, it's pretty simple. When your mailbox money exceeds your expenses, you have arrived at quadrant number 4. Now, 99% of people who get to quadrant 4 bounce out. Isn't that amazing? Yes, many people get to quadrant 4, but they don't have the knowledge that they need to stay in quadrant 4. What could happen if you get to quadrant 4, you won the lottery, or you've got millions of dollars? Why would you bounce out? Well, one of the primary reasons people bounce out is because they make loans without collateral. They go out and loan $2 million to their buddy and they get cheated or whatever have you, or they invest in a business that fails, or they get involved in a lawsuit, and that's what lawsuits are about, to take all of your money. Or they invest with no collateral in the stock market and the stock market crashes, or somebody steals from them, or they get into an IRS tax problem, or they overspend. Did you know that you can always spend more than you make? I mean, the best example is the U.S. government. No matter what they bring in, they spend more than they make. So this is why people bounce out. For professional sports players, the majority of them are broke after their career shortly thereafter because they hit quadrant 4, they bounce out. If you want to be part of the 1% of people who get to quadrant 4 and stay there, then you need knowledge. Wouldn't it be great if this kind of knowledge was provided in high school, or certainly at least at the college level? This type of knowledge ought to begin in high school. You're going to learn how buying all cash will reduce risk. This is something very valuable, very important to learn. You're going to learn how to keep your money working, because if your money's not working for you, what good is it? You are going to learn how to create a legacy of perpetual exponential growth and how to stay in quadrant number 4. You need to always use the foundational investment information that you learned in course number 2. Those 12 items that you learn, and if you want to go back to course number 2, it's highly recommended, because let me tell you, the information that's laying there for you took decades to achieve. You need to be clear on what you want. Easier said than done. Because what percentage of people don't know what they want? What do you think that number is? Pick a number. 95% of people don't know what they want. They're like a boat floating out in the middle of the ocean and with no sail or engine, and they're hoping that they're going to get to their port that they want, but they don't know what port they want. So how in the world can you get what you don't know you want? Without focus, you've got very little chance of getting to quadrant 4. I mean, think about it. Do people wind up in quadrant 4 by accident? I don't think so. You got 1 out of 100 people getting there because that 1 out of 100 people had a plan. They set their sails and they knew where they wanted to go. If you don't know where you want to go, you're not going to get there. Now, I want to help you with a vision. Let's just take a vision, because visions are how you create. Everything begins with a thought, and you have to decide what you want. What if you had $3 million in a pile? Wouldn't that be great? And what if that $3 million was laying in a Roth IRA where it's tax-free? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Because if it was laying in a Roth, you would have complete asset protection. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And you wouldn't need an accountant, because all the money that you earn investing that Roth is tax-free. So now all of a sudden you don't need an accountant. Wouldn't that be cool? Now, what would you be investing in? If you had $3 million, wouldn't it make good sense to have some real estate notes? Because then you'd have very few moving parts. And how would you invest $3 million in cash? Well, did you know you could do about 15 $200,000 homes? You could have money invested in 15 homes, free and clear, and you could be making 11% return on those homes. What's 11% of 300,000? Well, that'd be about 330,000 a year income. Could you live off $300,000 and then take the other 30,000 and reinvest it in your Roth? And by the way, you're having strong collateral. If you've got a house free and clear, have you got some pretty good collateral on your 300 grand or your 200,000 on your investment? Well, sure you do. And so if you reinvested the 30,000 every year, your account is growing by 10% per year. Your income's going to continue growing, and you can let compounding wealth continue on, and you can leave a legacy that perpetuates your values generationally. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I mean, think about it. But see, if you don't have that vision, is there any chance you're going to get it? Absolutely not. So everything begins with a vision. This is so important. Now, if you have a situation where you have already achieved critical mass, well, then you need to keep your money working and making a double-digit return, do you not? Absolutely, because if your money's not working, you're losing money. But you need safety. If you already have achieved critical mass, you need to invest your money only with collateral, because you don't need to lose it. And you need to invest in only soundly structured deals. Now, let me ask you a question. What if you could go to an income store and buy income? Wouldn't that be where you'd like to spend your money? Well, if you could go into an income store and buy any income you wanted, what would you buy? Would you select income potentials that have a lot of moving parts or few moving parts? Yeah, you would want the fewest moving parts. That would be a real estate note. And you would want to have the best collateral, would you not? Well, sure. You'd want it to be secured with real estate. And you would want from your income producing store, you want income that will allow you to benefit from compounding. You're not going to buy income that's going up and down and erratic like landlording or something like that. You want to buy some income where you can benefit from the power of compounding. You don't want to miss the boat. And you want when you go walk in the income store, you want a big ROI, do you not? You want like a double-digit return. And you need a service that provides these type of soundly structured deals, where ideally you would be able to invest in the income store, something where you have socially responsible investing, where you're helping people achieve the American dream as opposed to something else. And you would like income where you can participate in a class 1 activity, where you're helping people, where what you're doing feels good, it's good for you, it's good for others, and it serves the greater good. Well, we have that income store, and we have what we call the Investor Concierge Service, where we deliver turnkey BPT system deals on a silver platter. You're going to have few moving parts. You're going to have the collateral. You're going to have the compounding. You're going to have a double-digit return. And you're going to be able to call your income store right now. All you do is dial 713-703-4001, or you can go online to bpttraining.com.